Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's Keep, Sell or Loan show. This is where we involve you guys, of course, the end of the season and going into the transfer window. We want to know where you stand on certain players staying at the club or leaving the club or going out on loan. So it's a very interactive show tonight. We'll talk about the players, the three of us, and give you what our thoughts are. And then, of course, we'll put a poll up and you decide keep, sell, or loan. That's what it's all about tonight. So it's going to be very interesting to see where you guys stand on some certain players. There is certain players off the table. Alex will read them out in just a moment. But if you do enjoy the show tonight, guys, as usual, give it the thumbs up. And if you're new and like what you see, come and subscribe. Brilliant community here. It's free to do so, but don't forget to hit the bell, which will let you know when we upload any videos or schedule our lives. You can become a member of the Toon Review, of course, by hitting the join button just underneath the three of us and support the channel that way. Or you can support it by a super chat, which is the $ at the bottom of the live comments, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out live on the show. Hey, guys, I think I've got through that all in one go for the first time in weeks. Unbelievable. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Alex, do you want to just read out which players are off the table before we start? And then we'll go through, obviously, the players that we have, because there's plenty to get through tonight.
So we think we've remembered everybody. We've got the full squad up. We've got some people that we're taking off the table for this vote because they are being considered as untouchable. So those players are Anthony Gordon, Isak, Tino Livramento, Lewis Hall, Harvey Barnes, Sandro Tonali, Joe Linton, Sven Botman, Jamal Lascelles, because he's only on a year anyway.
Yeah.
And then Harvey Barnes, because we only just really purchased him. So
it's funny how you mentioned Harvey Barnes twice, Alex. I mean, you're desperate to keep him, obviously. So there you go. Harvey Barnes twice for Alex. So that's how much he wants. Yeah. But listen, it's going to be really interesting, this, because some of the players that we'll bring up, some of them are very favorable with the fans. Some aren't. I have a feeling that some of them will definitely be sell. Get out the club. We don't want you anymore. But it's interesting to see some of them who we may loan out or we want to keep. So it's going to be interesting. Alex's interesting TikTok cartoons. I don't like Stato in red and white.
I agree. Yeah, we need to have a word with Susan. I think I've done something to upset Susan. She's put me in red and white.
There you go. We'll get that cheered into. I didn't even realize it was red and white. Of course it is. But don't you look so cute? The #1 t-shirt. So yeah, Anthony's asking where was Jeff. Jeff's gone. He's been released anyway, so there's no point talking about Jeff Hendrick. We're not bringing. There's no point doing the released players because they're not there.
Released players are just exempt from this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So all gone. All gone. By the way, if you do want to follow us on our socials, we're on Instagram. We're all on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. We're on Twitter, Instagram. We have a Toon Review page. Facebook, we've got a brilliant the Toon Review group. So please do search that on Facebook. And if you're on TikTok, look for the Toon Review. We've got over 3,000 followers already on TikTok. So please do get yourself signed up if you're on there, because Susan does all the TikTok for the Toon Review, and it is brilliant. Some of the, I mean, Billy's cartoon. I mean, she showed me one today that she was going to use as Billy, and I nearly fell off my seat. It's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, we do need to change Alex's shirt, no doubt about it. Right. As for any Newcastle United news, I think it's sort of quiet on the Western Front at the moment. But how do you guys feel? Did the video earlier on today, of course. Isak coming out saying that he doesn't want to go anywhere, Billy.
It's brilliant news, isn't it? And he's obviously in a good vein of form and in happy mood because he scored again tonight for the Swedes against Denmark. Nice finish into the roof of the net. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Kind of.
It was Denmark, Billy, not Finland.
Denmark, yeah. Sorry. I nearly said something else, shouldn't have said then, about Scandinavian countries, but I won't go any further than that. But, yeah, Sweden an equaliser against the Danes. Brilliant news for us. It really is. And it kind of puts those up to Arsenal fans and Villa fans and all those that thought they were just going to come along and take our star asset away from us.
I'm so disappointed you didn't get that, Billy. You said nice finish.
I may well have said Finland. I can't remember.
No, you didn't. Oh.
Yeah, for once he didn't click onto it, but you know what it is. I mean, I made some kind of gesture to the Arsenal fans about jellied eels in the video, so I was trying to keep it clean for once. But there you go. Right, let's get started on what this show is all about tonight, guys. Over 700 in already. So listen, I'll bring the first player up. We'll have a little bit of discussion. But as we're talking about the player, I'll put the poll up and you guys can get voting straight away. I think we're only going to touch on players for a few minutes, obviously, because there's quite a few to get through. Now, these are in no order, so there's no defenders, midfielders, forwards that just come up as I've loaded the photos onto the screen. And the few I've missed out, we'll do at the end. Alex has obviously got the ones that I don't have photos of, so we'll put them up at the end. Right, first player tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is... Oh, this is going to be interesting. Sean Longstaff. Now, obviously, he's had his ups and downs, it's fair to say. He's certainly going through some ups at the minute when he's playing for the club. He's doing really well. Chris Lynch, thank you for your super chat. I agree with you, Paul. Isak can go up another gear. We have not seen the best of him yet. Absolutely. So, Nick Pope. Sean Longstaff. Billy, we'll start with you.
He's a keep for me. He's a fantastic squad member. And when he's on top form, I think he's a massive asset to the club. He hasn't been so far. A lot of last season, but go back a season, he was fantastic in the season before we finished fourth. Mm-hmm. So he's a definite keep for me. But he probably won't be a first choice, absolutely not. But he'll be ideal for rotation and cup games and things like that.
Interesting. The poll is up, by the way. So if you want to go and get voting now, keep, sell, or loan. Sean Longstaff's is up there now. Alex, I have to say I'm a little surprised at Billy there because I didn't expect him to say that. I have to be honest. I thought he was going to say sell. But where do you stand on Sean? Because I know he's good. You know, if we were in Europe, he's got the homegrown situation, but we're not in Europe. So where do you stand?
Well, I would like to say sell. Purely for reinvestment purposes, because it's pure profit, not because I don't like Sean. But I'm going to say keep. Because if we had one or two midfielders coming through the academy that were going to be ready and homegrown, trained at club is the key component there, then yeah, we could maybe let him go. But it doesn't look like we're going to have that in rotation yet. It might take 3 to 5 years. So I think we're just going to have to use Sean. I think he's more than good enough as a rotation player. He's. I don't think he's good enough to be the starter at the level we're trying to, constantly kicking into European football. Yeah. But he's shown in phases when he's not injured and he's managed, he can be a lot more useful. A lot of people may disagree with me, which is fine. But it's about having the maximum squad size when we get back into Europe, which I'm confident will be next year. And you've seen what happens when you have a smaller squad. It's nasty. It's really bad. So I'm going to say keep just based on that because we're not going to be able to bring anybody through that's homegrown, trained or club yet. So no option.
I've just seen a comment fly through there, just saying you should have keep for the squad or keep for the first team. No. Right, that would take forever, guys. What we're doing is, if you want to keep them, it means keep as a squad player or a first team player, a first 11. It doesn't matter which one. It's keep, sell, or loan. So that's the way we're doing it, guys. Otherwise, we're going to get it to keep for the first 11, keep for the kids, keep for the. It's pointless. We mean keep at the club. Ben says Longstaff was better when Sandro was there to pressure him. Better eliminate the option because Eddie has the soft spot. Oh dear. Breaking news, Chelsea have reported starting an online interactive poll asking whether to keep, sell or loan their players. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised if a few of the a few of these crop up on YouTube.
Can I just say I'd also give him an extra couple of years on his contract as well because he is out of contract I think in the next season. So
wow.
We have to keep him for probably another 3-ish years, and until we can fix the bottleneck that we've got in the academy. We've got none coming through.
Yeah,
it's not the club's fault. It is, but it was the previous ownership, so can't really do a lot now other than we are trying to plaster over the cracks and restructure it as quick as we can, but it does take time.
A couple of minutes on the poll. For me, I agree with you guys. I think we've got to keep Sean. As much as he frustrated the hell out of me last season and probably got one of the worst seasons ratings that has ever been given out on a YouTube channel in our end of season review, thanks to a couple of -20s. I do believe we should keep him because I do believe that Sean is a very, very good squad player. I know, look, if he was injured a lot last season, well, fair enough. That gives us, or gives the club a reason. I don't know why he played so much with an injury, given that, the kid, he shouldn't have done that because you're just going to make an injury worse. Well, yeah, but you're just going to make the injury worse, aren't you? Let's be honest. It doesn't do
You've got to give him credit for actually saying, I can do it, even though I'm not right.
Absolutely. So, for me, I think we have to keep him. Again, squad player for me, nothing more. Certainly not first 11 ultimate choice next season. Right, let's have a look what you guys have voted, shall we? Interesting. Sean Longstaff, 55% said keep, 43% said sell, and 3% said loan him out. Interesting. So that poll has now ended. So
as well. So
55% for Sean Longstaff. Very interesting. Clue says, fair enough, Paul. It was tongue in cheek because we all want to keep him as a squad player. I don't worry about it. Ab says he wasn't really injured. He just played through pain like most other players. That's possibly right. I mean, if he was getting you're pain. If you're getting pain in a certain part of your body, then it's classed as an injury, isn't it? So, but I get what you're saying. Lady Sam is not here tonight, guys, because she's overrun with her work at the minute. She's massively busy. Bless her, she was shattered on the show last night. She's got a lot going on in her working life at the minute, so she's got the night off tonight. 350 votes in the poll, yet only 24 hit the like button. Hey, come on, guys, hit that like button. We really need the likes to stay up there in the search results so that many people like yourselves can find the channel. Right, next player is His Holiness Nick Pope. Now, the reason we've decided to put Nick Pope in is because we linked with many, many different keepers, 5,000 of them, in fact, so far in the last 2 weeks. So Nick Pope is an interesting one because is his shoulder 100%? Can we trust him next season? Or are Newcastle United looking to replace him? But what would you guys do? Alex, Nick Pope.
It's a tricky one because I think most people are going to possibly go with telling Dubravka. Obviously a bit premature there, but losing out on the Conference League is a problem for goalkeeping rotation. If we did get European football, we could have, whoever we're signing, we could have said, right, we could have convinced Nick Pope to stay and the new guy to come in. We could have rotated. That now can't happen. So I don't know who he'd sell him to or how much, or I don't even know if it'd work. I'm massively on the fence with this one. I'm just going to say keep because I'd like us to try and keep Nick Pope and buy in another good goalkeeper. That would be lovely. It might not be possible, but I'm going to say keep.
Foxy says Pope keep, but if we bring in a new keeper, a new number one, he'd be looking to leave in January. Williams says buy a new keeper and drop him. Ab says wouldn't make this decision until end of next season regarding Pope. Well, that's why we're putting it out to you guys. Andrew says you've got to keep Pope, especially without a new backup acquired. Selling Pope would be pointless. We then need to bring in two keepers. Well, I mean, he has been linked with Ipswich, Billy. What do you reckon?
It's dependent on one or two things. If we were to go out and buy Mamardashvili, I'd sell him. But if not, I'd keep him. So based on the fact that I don't think we probably will sign Mamardashvili, I'm going to say keep.
Interesting. Matt says, as Billy said last show, he will only go to a lesser club, so may as well stay as number two. Truls, what the hell? Begovic incoming? I bloody hope not. Mike says, keep Pope, but it's all about improving where we can. If he becomes second choice, that's just tough.
Yeah, that Begovic stuff, by the way, is a load of nonsense. It's because he was in the Northeast for the England game.
Right.
Everybody just
I
ran
haven't
with
seen
that.
anything on Begovic, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure that's nonsense. Purely because he was in the northeast.
What was
Unless
that,
there's
Billy?
rumours that I've not spoiled.
Sorry?
Just coughing, that's all.
Do you want to cough again? Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. A certain squirrel.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Mark says, you ignoring my question over Pope as we know he's not fit. Tell the truth. Mark, I didn't even see your original question, but how do you know he's not fit?
He's played the last game. He didn't injure himself then, so to me, he's fit.
A couple of minutes left on that one on the poll, so get voting. My choice is we keep him. I do generally believe that we'll probably, if anybody, it'll be James Trafford coming to Newcastle. I can't see. I don't know where these Mamardashvili rumours have come from that we've paid 41 million or whatever it is. That's come from a very foreign reporter, I think. So, look, it's true that they do want to, get a goalkeeper in, but I'm not sure if they're trying to bring a goalkeeper in to be number one and take over Nick Pope. I think they've still got Nick Pope pending as number one next season. I may well be wrong with that, but we'll just, as I say, the summer will wait and see. Let's see what you guys think. Right, Nick Pope, 90% keep. Only 9% said sell, and there was 1% said loan him out. So there you go. 90% of you said keep Nick Pope. Interesting. Very interesting. Ashton says, I would like Mamardashvili, but Pope is a great keeper. Toon Doc says he's an excellent keeper. If we do get another big name, well and good. But I would be more than happy with Pope as number one for our next phase. I'd be happy with Pope for next season, guys. We were screaming for him to get back in the side towards the end of the season. I don't think.
In all honesty,
it's only his fitness that worries me. Is his shoulder? That's all.
My opinion's changed on this kind of stuff purely because of, we weren't sure how bad the squad rotation was going to be last year with Europe. We were a bit scared that we might get hit by it. Not only did we get hit by it, we got absolutely steamrolled by it. We got annihilated for injuries and suspensions. It was the worst season we could have even predicted in terms of injuries.
Yeah.
So now my thinking is just going to be, let's prep for worst case scenario, and then we can never kind of go too wrong. So I'm concerned about having Nick Pope as the number one for a full season. I would prefer to bring in competition.
I would tell you what,
I'll still keep him. But I'd like competition for him, because if that shoulder suddenly goes a bit squiffy in October, we're buggered.
Especially if we've still got Dubravka. Anyway, the next player on our list tonight is Matt Targett, of course, came in on loan originally and performed absolutely brilliantly. But since the loan spell ended, he's had a horrendous run of injuries, been out the side an awful lot. He's literally become extinct at Newcastle United. So let's see where everybody stands on Matty Targett. The poll is now up and available for you to vote on Matt Targett. And Billy, we'll start with you.
Well, I think most people will say sell, but I'm going to say loan with an obligation to buy for someone, because I think his wages could well be a problem if you're selling him straight off. I think if we were to loan him out to someone for a year with an obligation, then maybe they can rate him that way. So it'd be a loan for me, this one.
But does it, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Billy, but Matt Targett as a player himself will surely know that if he wants, if he's had the discussions with Newcastle United about moving on, and then he must know that he's not going to get those kind of wages elsewhere. But if he wants to play first team football, then maybe he is going to have to take a pay cut eventually, whether it's a loan to buy or not. He will have to drop his wages.
I don't know. Will he? He's been quite happy to sit on the bench when he's been fit. Some part of last season. I don't know. I just don't. I don't think he will leave for football at this age. I think a year's loan with an obligation, maybe he can get that money back next season from someone else. But I just don't see him. I just don't see a club buying him and paying him £100 a week and more. You got to encourage him to move out of Newcastle United. So loan with an obligation for me is probably the best way around it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Alex.
I'd sell and I'd take a hit on the wages. We did it with Fernandez, I'm pretty sure. We could do it again. So we would offer to pay off what would be the total, what would sort of like 40, 50,000 a week off of that.
Yeah.
Pay some of the wages or up to half of the wages, pay that outright or in bits, however it would be done structurally. I know it's been done before in contracts, and then try and get him out the door for 4, 5, 6 mil, whatever we can get, really. I mean, we paid like 15 for him, which was a bit of an overpay, but at the time he'd been fantastic for us, but he played exceptionally well in his loan to maybe get that signing, and it's not quite worked out. But I'd take the hit. I'd take 4 or 5 mil for him, and I'd maybe put a bit in the kitty towards the wages for the purchasing club. And I'm sure there's a few out there. Obviously, this would be perfect for a club like Forest a couple of years ago. Obviously, they're not in a position to maybe make this kind of signing now. I'm sure there are teams out there, but Billy's option is also quite plausible with a loan and an obligation. But I'd like to try and do it my way, and I'm going to say sell.
Okay. Clue says swap for Leif Davies. I mean, I don't think that
Switch can afford 100 grand a week.
No, and I'm not sure that they'd let Leif Davies go for a swap deal with Matt Targett. I think he's worth more than Matt Targett, to be honest. Targett needs a season in the Championship to see where he's at. Garant Thomas says it's the only way. Give him the magic pill payoff. Payoffs probably something that's not going to happen. Peter Bjordford, thank you for your super chat. Loan him to Ipswich. I mean, Stuart says there, Targett is a good bottom half Premier League fullback. There will be clubs interested, surely.
Yeah, but those clubs don't have money right now. Everton have got problems. Forest have got problems. Brentford I don't think they'd touch a player like Matt Targett with the way they recruit. Promoted clubs possibly don't have the money. There you go. I've just eliminated about 5. Who would go for him? Well, Palace? No. I think they're far too good at the moment.
Yeah, but there is teams that probably would be interested, but not when they see his wage packet. I think that would put them off instantly.
Who else exists? Fulham, Bournemouth, Wolves.
They're not going to pay that amount of money. No way.
Bournemouth's potential, but he'd have to, again, it's the money side of it, isn't it?
I mean, look, for me, I'd sell him. I think he's not really. I know Eddie Howe's a big fan of Matt Targett. He's come out and said that many, many times. But look, realistically now, moving forward, Lewis Hall is going to be our left back. There is no doubt in my mind that he will start as left back next season. And we do have cover there, especially if, obviously, Lloyd Kelly comes in. Dan Burn can fill in there from time to time. So there is players there. I don't think Matt Targett, if he wants to play regular football, I think he himself has to generate a move as well. So, for me, I'd sell definitely. As for our viewers, they have gone with 83% sell, 7% said keep, and 10% said loan. So a huge win for the sell department there.
Loan, sell.
Yep, absolutely. So there you go. Matt Targett is not wanted, it seems, by the by 100% of the Newcastle, by 83% anyway of the Newcastle United fan base. Right, here we go. Interesting one. Martin Dubravka. Obviously, as we know, came in last season for the injured Nick Pope. A lot of us said that we would rather have, of course, a Karius playing. It didn't happen like that. It was Dubravka who got the nod on numerous occasions when he probably should have been dropped. In my eyes, he should have been dropped a long time before he actually was for the final game of the season. Ridiculous decision for me, but that's just the way our manager works sometimes. Alex, Martin Dubravka, I know you're a big fan.
Sell immediately. Needs to be the first one out the door this summer.
Yeah.
Got 1 year left on his contract. I don't think I need to explain it much more than he was a big reason why we didn't get into Europe. There were others, but he wasn't good enough. He's not up to standard anymore. He's been fantastic for us in the past, but he went to play for Man United and he's not been particularly great for us over long periods of time. He's had a couple of good games, but on the whole, sell.
I mean, Billy, that Man United move really hurt him, didn't it? And the way he behaved when he was on loan at Manchester United, of course, was very disrespectful to us. And I don't think in a million years he actually thought he was going to come back. I genuinely believe he thought he was moving on. It was very, very sort of. I don't think Newcastle United fans completely forgave him. Look, he came in, he did some decent things, of course. The Blackburn Cup game, he was outstanding, but on the whole, just not good enough. So, what would you do?
Oh, I'd release him. It's not even a case of selling him. If it gets money from him, fine. But if not, I'd just release him. Pay his contract up, out the door.
But the problem is, we're paying contracts up, guys. Is it takes a hit on FFP. So
if we can sell it and get a price for him because he's got a year left, maybe get £1 million for him, or give him a free transfer. One of the two. But
we'll give him a free transfer in exchange for the wages being taken off the book. So we need some kind of financial gain from it.
Phoenix Dawn says we fell apart with Dubravka this season. Should have binned him when he spat his dummy out and went to Man United. Kush de la Kush says sell this useless numpty. He's scared to come out his 6-yard box. Paul says why he played so many games only how knows. Chelsea are in for a keeper. What about Dubravka? Well, no. I mean, if we did put a headline up saying Newcastle are interested in re-signing Dubravka, then maybe Chelsea would actually go for him. Scary to watch, always worried all the way through any match, says Richard. James says when he went to Man United, it was like a kick in the teeth to us Toon fans, simple as. Calvin says numerous reports of him not being happy and wanting to leave, plus the Man United loan, plus the mad amount of goals we shipped once he came back in. Get rid immediately. I mean, it's right. He did ship an awful lot of goals. There's no doubt about that. And a lot of them, if you go back and watch them, he could have actually done something about, and he was very, very slow. But it's not just what the shot stop, and it's the fact that the defense goes to absolute pot because they haven't got a clue what Martin Dubravka is going to do, and that's a huge issue.
And when he was at Man United, I mean, he only played 1 or 2 games. He played in the Carabao Cup, Coca-Cola, and he said again against I can't remember who it was. It may well have been Burnley actually, and he was dreadful in that game. I mean, he was letting balls go over his head and through his legs and all sorts. Yeah. And the same old hesitant Dubravka. No wonder they sent him back.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. He was a brilliant keeper when we first signed him. And remember his debut. He was absolutely incredible against Manchester United. So he has done really well for the club in the past. Let's not forget that. But I think generally that Manchester United thing just completely, he's just put a little bit of a stain on his Newcastle career, unfortunately. So for me, I agree. I think we've got to sell him. I genuinely believe there'll be clubs out there who want him. And it's important that, I think we just take £1 million and say goodbye. Or even a 500 grand bid comes in, say goodbye. Or even a penny.
Well, that's what ended up happening with Carl Darlow eventually, wasn't it? So
it was, yeah, absolutely. Right, the viewers have voted as well. Let's have a look. Wow, 95% say sell, 5% say keep, and nobody says we should loan him.
Hello, Martin.
Yeah, Martin and his family obviously vote and keep there. Absolutely. So that poll has come to an end. Nearly over 430 votes on that. That's incredible in such short amount of time. Thank you for taking part in this, by the way. It generally is interesting to know where obviously you guys stand. By the way, guys, pick my new car up tomorrow. Having said that, I need to get from Durham to Thornaby tomorrow afternoon. So if anybody knows anybody who can take me there, I'd very much appreciate it. If you live around the Durham area, you're not doing anything tomorrow afternoon around 1:45, drop me an email. I need to get to Thornaby. Susan doesn't drive on motorways. I've got no chance. So anybody
it's
out
like
there,
the first online hitchhiker ever.
I think it is, Alex. Yes, I think it is. Yes, there's the train, Nathan, but that involves me walking when I get there, and my walking's not very good these days, as you know. I'm not blaming the illness. I will not blame the illness, but Toon Doc,
get an Uber from the train station.
True.
Look, as I said, if anybody's out there who can take me to Thornaby, give me a shout. The email address is in the description. I would be very.
Middlesbrough.
Well, it's Middlesbrough, yeah, but you only have to drop me off and then you can disappear again. So it's not really.
They'll disappear with 5 yards down the road with the fucking smoke there.
Oh, God. Somebody help me. A stranded man. I am trying to hitchhike. That's terrible. Toon Doc, thank you for becoming a new member of the channel. Welcome to the Toon Review Members Club. Thank you for your support. Right, who is next on our list? I'm just seeing if anybody. I'll do it for £6.10. So say, oh, you're funny, funny man. Right, next up is Jacob Murphy. This should be interesting because I know where I stand on it. But Billy Bob, Jacob Murphy.
Oh, he's a definite keep for me. Squad member. Obviously not going to be the first choice next season. Obviously, we're going to have someone come in and take that role and hopefully be a superstar while doing it. But I think Jacob Murphy's a fantastic substitute, rotation, cup games, resting the star, and he gets games. He's a Newcastle United fan, and the vast majority of the time he performs with heart and enthusiasm, and does create quite a lot of stuff as well. So definitely squad member for me.
We've got Sammy Fies. Thank you for your Saudi Arabian Real super chat. Very, very kind. I hope a very great next year. So do we all, Sammy. So do we all. And hopefully it will happen. Mackin will drop him off at the Stadium of Light. Yeah, I don't want to go there. Definitely not. Marky says, I got you, Paul. Thank you. Thornaby is a bit prickly, that place. Oh, Chip, it's not the prickly. Just what the hell. Right, Alex.
This is an easy one. A keep. It would be somebody that we could possibly get some money for. However, I don't think we'd be able to get somebody as reliable and consistent and versatile as Jacob Murphy for the same money back in. So you might as well keep him. He's a fantastic lad, and he's been very versatile and useful in the last few years. So the last 3 seasons, he's made 33 appearances, 36 appearances, and then 21 appearances in the Premier League. And he's been useful in all the cups, in the Champions League. He's played, 1,400, 1,300, 1,200 minutes. So he's not playing all the minutes, but it means he can rotate in and be high tempo. You know, he got 10 goal contributions last year. Absolutely keep all day long. Easiest keep, really.
Tristan says, as a Newcastle fan, sell, love him, but to get where we want to be, selling and his age, we have enough players who aren't standard for Europe. We're not in Europe yet, Tristan. That's the thing. We've got to get there. Look, I love Jacob Murphy. I really do. I love his attitude. I think he'd be great to have in the squad next season, and I don't think he's going anywhere. If it was my decision, I'd keep Jacob Murphy. He's a Newcastle fan. That passion boils within him. We see that when he's on the pitch. And look, he still can do a job. I think it all depends who the striker is for me as to how Jacob Murphy actually plays. But to me, to have him in the squad next season, he's still got the quality there. And I'd love to. I really would. I'd love to keep him. But it's about you guys as well. So let's have a look at this. Again, well over 400 votes on this one. Jacob Murphy, 93% say keep. I'm
sorry, Tristan.
93%. Sell was 6%. And only 1% would actually loan out Jacob Murphy. So that's a massive well done to Jacob Murphy, though, guys, because I don't think anybody a few years ago would have actually said that. They've said, get him out. You know, he's not good enough, especially when he went on loan. But what I love is Jacob Murphy's gone out on loan, didn't sulk about it, come back and improved.
Yeah. Well, he's a top professional, isn't he? I mean, you can see athletically in terms of his body as well. He tries to keep himself in peak physical condition. He always looks lean and athletic. He's always fit. He's always quick off the mark. He's versatile in terms of he'll play right wing, right mid. He's played up front for a few minutes this season. He played right back, right wing back. He'll sit on the bench. He'll be cheeky and he'll help the manager out. He's just fantastic. You can't buy someone like that that's going to get the club like he does. And the fact that, you know, he's happy to be a rotation player and bang in 10 goal contributions in 1,200 minutes, by the way, which is really good. He's fantastic.
I think he's brilliant. Kieran, thank you for your super chat. If he needed, he can play as a right back as well for cover. Exactly. There's a lot about his game that somebody like that is probably vital to have around the squad, to be honest. Next up, we have Fabian Schar. Now, I know you ladies out there will definitely be wanting to keep him, and that's not just for footballing reasons. Let's be honest. Look at the man; he's chiseled like a Greek god, and that's coming from a very straight man. He is a very good-looking footballer. Billy, I mean, Alex, you've got to admit that before we go anywhere. The ladies love him.
Got a nice arse from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, Billy, we'll start with you. Fabian Schar.
Yeah, he's a keep. He's a definite keep. But if someone offered us a lot of money for him, I'd sell. Simple as that, because he is of the age where, you think you replace him with a younger version. But it's a definite keep.
Okay. Alex?
An absolute keep. Absolute keep. You're not gonna, for the money we'd end up getting for him, you're not going to be able to buy someone of equal quality. I appreciate that he's missing that athleticism that would put him in sort of the top category, but he's a tier under that, which is fantastic. 4 goals last year, which was a decent kind of improvement with an assist. He got his goal in the Champions League as well. He was ever present, 36 appearances in the Premier League, 6 appearances in the Champions League. Just a warrior. And there's just no point in selling him because we just can't replace him for somebody as good. So absolute keep.
Guys, we've got well over 1,200 watching tonight. Thank you so much for your support. If you are new, please do come and subscribe. You can see what a brilliant community we have. Come and be part of this Toon review on the journey. I'm going to say towards 40,000 because I know I've just took 30, but let's go for 40 now. That's the goal. Upwards and onwards, or onwards and upwards, whatever you want to say. Eli says his rare mistakes cost us against Milan at home. Look, a defender is never going to go through a season without making an error that leads to a goal. You're not going to have that. Marky says, I think we should keep him long-term. He will be an epic coach and is extremely switched on. Gillian says he's the whole package, Paul. I don't understand what that means, Billy.
Well, that photo we saw, maybe we did.
Yeah, okay. He should do a Wilkinson sword advert with that picture. Well, I mean, he's just chiseled. For me, definitely keep. I don't want Fabian Schar going anywhere. I think he was a star last season. He did have a couple of games where we now call it the Schar sulk, when he just looks like he's got a bit of an attitude and can't be bothered. There was about 4 or 5 games like that last season. But on the whole, like I say, he's been magnificent. The guy, puts his body on the line every game. The amount of head injuries, etc. I mean, it's just he's got to stay. Shane says Fabian's been my favourite player as an ex-centre back myself. Shame he's not 5 years younger. Keep for sure. Passing is outrageous. He's like a quarterback. Ask J7. Well, look how long Thiago Silva played for. I mean, there's no reason that Fabian Schar, if he looks after himself, just because he's older, it doesn't mean that he's going to go downhill.
Yeah, but then you have to have really athletic defenders around you to compensate.
Which we will. Livramento, Lewis Hall. We've got them, man. Let's not be.
Listen, if you can read the game, it's as good as having explosive pace, in my opinion. He can clearly read the game really well. Because I think many times you see him get absolutely skinned, despite having no pace.
Yeah. Some of these comments, man, mainly from women, I have to say. But never mind. Let's look at what the viewers want. And the viewers have voted in their hundreds again. 96% say keep. And only 4% say sell. Nobody wants to loan him out.
Jealous men saying sell.
Jealous men, yeah. Jealous men who were sitting tonight alongside their good ladies and who've pressed the button and are now getting divorced. I've seen a few comments coming through when we first said Fabian Schar, and a lot of comments saying I'm definitely voting to keep because my lass will divorce me. So there you go. Fabian Schar, I think that's Well, incidentally, the results have come up saying keep 95, sell 3, and loan none, which makes 98%. So where's the other 2% gone?
It's just
YouTube.
YouTube's eating it.
YouTube's eating it. Yeah. Right. Next on our list is BDB, Big Dan Burn. Now, this is going to be interesting because obviously a lot of disgruntlement when he was playing left back last year, but then he moved back to centre back and he was absolutely superb. Just went back into that position and just did a magnificent job, I think, alongside Emil Krafth when they were needed. So, Dan Burn, very interesting one, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to keep him if it's for centre half purposes, not a problem. I think the left back experiment kind of died a death. And I think it's the proof is in the pudding with the fact that he moved into centre half and his confidence went up, his ratings went up from sort of statistical sites. You could see he was a lot more confident. Yeah, he's a centre half. So in terms of keeping, obviously Botman's out till around Christmas. He's probably not going to be back fully fit until you'd imagine back end of Jan, maybe start of Feb. So Dan Burn is absolutely necessary because it looks like the recruitment is for the right side. Although Lloyd Kelly coming in kind of opens up options there. So, but I think it's an easy one. I think Dan Burn, he's part of the leadership group. He's worn the armband quite a lot this year. Don't have many left footers in the squad. He's big. He's good in set pieces. Yeah, absolutely keep Dan Burn. No reason to get rid of him.
Billy,
squad member, keep absolutely. But hopefully by the end of the season, he will be literally just rotation.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mentioned before, he can cover at left back, of course, as well. So, you know, we do have that should anything happen. I mean, look, Lloyd Kelly looks like he's going to be coming in. We're not saying definite yet, judging what happened with Toon as well. So let's just wait and see on Lloyd Kelly until the club announce it. Don't listen to anybody else. You've already been burnt once this season with Toon. Let's not listen to anybody else apart from the football club.
Can I just mention one thing as well? Because I think there are a couple of people. There's a couple of people mentioning that he was okay in left back. He was okay in left back when we had an absolutely stacked lineup. We had Botman there with a sweeper keeper and Nick Pope behind him, and then you'd got Joe Linton, Bruno Tonali, an athletic, very tactically aware midfield who were good at coming back and covering. Joe Linton's great at the left-hand side covering. He did it a lot for Matt Targett a couple of years ago. He was good at doing it for Dan Burn. You've got Gordon, who likes to track back as well. So there was a lot that papered over the cracks in Dan Burn's game as a fullback that was massively exposed when the rest of the squad weakened with like a less athletic midfield, no sweeper keeper. All of a sudden, the fullback position, he struggled because he just got put in lots of really bad 1v1 foot races with loads of space. I don't think that's unfair to say that. He's obviously much better as a centre half.
Yeah, I mean, look, I gave him a lot of hammer last season. A lot of people know that, and I'm not, you know, I don't take that back because I just don't think he was good enough at left back. But that wasn't necessarily Dan Burn's fault. What I liked, and I've seen a couple of people mention, is the fact that he you know, played so long at left back and then went back to centre back and took it like a duck to water again. Didn't, you know, he got going straight away and looked immense when he went back to centre back. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. And the fact that he scored a goal against PSG, let's not forget, at home. Yeah, I mean, look, I like Dan Burn as a person. I think he's fantastic to have around the dressing room. And again, as long as he's a squad player, I don't think he's a left back. I think we're going to improve centre backs over the summer, but definitely to have around the squad. The viewers' vote is 91% keep for Dan Burn, and 9% say sell. Nobody wants to loan him out. I mean, look, if we had done that poll around Christmas time, Billy, where do you think it would have been 91?
If we, while he was playing at left back and getting skinned week in, week out, absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I wasn't keen on him playing at centre half after the Brighton debacle, because he has got a fault in him. He does keep kind of getting impetuous and trying to do things that aren't his job. You know, he'll come across and try and tackle Schär's man and leave a massive gap in behind.
Yeah,
and I think even now he can improve on that. It's just a case of concentration for me, and just doing what he knows he can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. The next player, if you just bear with us 1 second, is Emil Krafth, who, of course, came in last season and, for me, did a fantastic job. Nothing outrageously flashy, just came in, did a really good, steady away job. And he deserves a lot of credit for that because he came back, of course, from a horrendous injury. But he did really come back and do well. But where does he stand now as to a place in the squad next season? Would you keep, sell, or loan? Billy?
He's the archetypal professional. I think he's fantastic as a squad member. Can cover 2 positions. Never moans about being on the bench. He's just an ideal team man, squad man. So he's a keep for me.
Okay, get voting, guys. Let me see what you viewers think for Emil Krafth. Alex, again, you know, the Swedish Cafu came in, did a fabulous job.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit concerned about him moving into centre half and having to play multiple games at centre half. But he was okay. It wasn't perfect, but he was out of position. He's not played a load of football again. Tranmere destroyed him. It's taken him a long time to start being a competent footballer again. And he was okay. He was fine. He wasn't quite what Lascelles and obviously Fabian Schar give us. And obviously he's not quite as good as Trippier or Livramento. But he's a steady Eddie. He's a steady Emil. Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one. We've just given him a contract extension, so it's kind of a weird one to even talk about because he's obviously staying for a year.
Yeah.
And the fact that Lascelles is out till probably Jan-ish means it's just a keep. I think everybody's kind of got to say keep. We can't really say sell because we've just re-signed him. So.
But I think, I mean, obviously it's very hypothetical as well, this, isn't it? So, you know, the fact is with Emil Krafth, I think, and a few other players, once we get the likes of Botman back from long-term injury, I think the winter transfer window would be very interesting as well to see if we move anybody out then. You know, once
that's a fair shout.
recovered.
Although I tell you what, I think he's a great pickup for another team. If you're a lower league team, or maybe a team in France or somewhere in Europe, I think there's a team out there that would pick Krafth up on a free and would use him really well. And he's still at a reasonably good age at 29 and a bit. It could be a fantastic pickup for someone, definitely.
Well, I'm saying keep for next season. I think he deserves that. I think he's come in and done a really good job this year. Nowhere near, obviously, a first choice starting 11 player next year. But again, as a squad member, I think he deserves that. Julie says he's playing for Sweden right now. And he does get regularly picked for Sweden. So he is very highly thought of in the Swedish camp as well. We know that. You know, he's been out for a long time. He's come back from that injury and literally was straight back into the Swedish squad. The viewers have voted 75% keep. So they will 76% now. Are you keeping track of all these, Alex? Are you writing them down? Are you?
Yeah. Well, not all the percentages, but all of the ones that have been. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's gone back to 75 now. Sell 23% and 2% say to loan him out. Interesting. All right, swiftly moving on to our next player because we're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit here. This is interesting. Callum Wilson. Very, very big talking point, of course. Injured a lot. You know, that is just fact. However, when he's on his game, he is a tremendous, tremendous striker. But has he come to the end of his time at Newcastle United? Alex?
Sell. Because he's a saleable asset at the moment, and it's purely that. I do like him a lot. He's fantastic. We really liked him at Bournemouth. I remember years ago when Bournemouth first got promoted, when Alan Shearer gave a lot of analysis about him, and he loved him coming through the ranks. Well, through the ranks, he was pretty established at that point. And then he got his ACL issues, and he came back, and he was still a goal scorer, still really good. Came to us, he's been fantastic for us, but if we had a better financial situation in terms of how PSR works, we would probably keep him. But we have to cash in on a couple of people. It doesn't have to be the huge hitters, but it has to be somebody in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
And Wilson makes sense. It would be sad, but again, his body does let him down quite a lot. It would be a really big shame. It would be a sad one, but I think sell.
I mean, as Randy puts it there as well. Apparently, he's not happy with game time. He is a saleable asset. There has been rumblings that he wasn't happy that he wasn't allowed to move in the winter window. For me, I'd sell. I think his time is done at Newcastle United. I think he's been fantastic for us when he's been fit. But the injuries have crippled him. Have crippled the chance to really be an absolute legend at Newcastle United. Because I think had he stayed fit, he would have been our striker for. Well, he would have been number one for a long time, but unfortunately, his body's let him down. And for me, we've got to sell. As Alex said, he's a saleable asset still now, and we've got to get some money for him. Billy?
I think we need 3 strikers, but we need 3 reliable strikers. So on that basis alone, I'm selling Callum Wilson.
Interesting. You wouldn't keep him? Wouldn't keep him as a number 3?
When you say reliable, you mean reliable in terms of availability? Yeah?
Availability, yeah. And I don't think he'd want to stay as number 3 anyway.
Interesting.
He does want to stay as number 2, so I think.
Did you say he was unhappy with game time, Paul?
There was reports saying he was unhappy with game time, rumblings that he wasn't happy about moving in the winter.
It's because he wasn't fit. Most of the time, he's been used,
absolutely.
To be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is, we've all heard the rumblings that he looks to have said he wants to move on. But
if I know Callum Wilson, and I do, he'll want to be the number 1 fish in the pool at some club. He's not at Newcastle United. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Right, the viewers have spoken as well, and they've gone for 86% sell. So a huge. I mean, we haven't had a close one yet, have we? We well, maybe we have. It was the one who was earlier on. I don't know. However, it's 87% now say sell and 14% say keep.
Very quickly, Eric keeps slagging us off because we just have our own opinions about certain players. The truth wasn't spoken. No, these are just our opinions, Eric. If you don't like it, you can go watch the channel, can't you?
The truth wasn't spoken.
He's put 3 or 4 comments in now. It's just irritating me.
The truth wasn't spoken.
Our opinions. It's our opinion. There's 3 different opinions plus a few thousand people voting in it. So
yeah.
The sky is purple.
I mean,
put your own opinion down. Put your own opinion about the player in the chat.
Yeah, just have a conversation.
These are our opinions, Don't call people liars because that's ridiculous. To be fair,
but how can you lie on something like this? You can't. There's no truth. There's no truth or lies about what we're doing tonight. It's basically opinions. Oh my God! I bet he's a flat earther. I bet he is. Anyway, let's move on to the next player, shall we? And that is Garang Kuol, ladies and gentlemen, the forgotten Aussie, who I have to say, didn't really impress me in the games in Australia. I have to say, has really struggled out on loan on a couple of occasions. Didn't get a first team opportunity since November. I'm not sure that Garang Kuol is going to make the grade. I mean, there's still plenty time left. But Billy, where do you stand on Garang?
Well, when we saw him playing Australia the first game, and quite a lot of the second game actually, he looked like he didn't know what football was. Loan, but it's got to be a decent loan this time. And if he doesn't kind of do anything on this loan, then we need to be looking at getting rid of him. But as Alex often says, we've not paid nothing for him, so it's hardly a gamble. Loan for me, yeah, give me a loan, preferably in England.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's tried Scotland, Alex. He's tried Holland. It hasn't worked. I mean, is it last chance saloon a loan deal to an English league side, and then review it again at the end of the season? Is it literally last chance saloon?
Probably. I think this is probably his last full season. I think if he has a bad loan spell this year, I think it's not going to work out. I think he needs to be loaned to a lower level. I think he needs to be guaranteed playing time. Well, he needs to earn that, to be fair. We can't just say to a club, please play him. He needs to be good enough, with all due respect. But I would say loan him to League One or League Two in this country, or loan him somewhere where he's going to get played. And again, Shola needs to do obviously it paid off with Feyenoord, but I'd say there's been most of our other loans have not been very good. Bristol Rovers with Elliot Anderson and Minteh at Feyenoord are the only two that I feel like have worked. I feel like every other loan was a bit meh, a little bit underwhelming. I think White at Crewe Alexandra was pretty good. But when he's not making waves with, but again, it depends on who we recruit in for him to send out, I guess.
Yeah.
But it has to work this time, and I think he has to get loaned out to a slightly lower standard, and he needs to get minutes and develop. And then again, like Billy said, if it, we paid what 350,000, I think was the amount we paid for him. So if we can develop him to a point where we could get $1 million or $2 million for him, it's just fine. It's not a problem.
Calvin, thank you for your super chat. He says Kuol, just release him. He's a waste of time. I mean,
why though? We might be able to flip him for some money or develop him.
Pedro says loan him to Sunderland. Look, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go for one more loan, last chance saloon, but it has to be to an English side to see how he will perform over here, because we know that it is very much more physical. It's probably faster than he's used to. Give him a chance. Give him a chance at an England side next season, and then if it doesn't work again, then for me, Garang Kuol is thank you but no thanks kind of thing. So I say loan. Right, let's have a look at the viewers. 72% of the viewers would loan him out again. Sell is 24% and keep is only 5%. So send him out on loan is the opinion of the viewers. Kind of saw that coming, really. I think there was no doubt about that one. Next on is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 5 left on the photos, and then a couple more at the shout out. So shouldn't be too much longer. We've got Minteh. Now, there has been a lot of shouts for this guy to be involved next season. I think it all depends on how he does in pre-season, but he's had a fantastic time. He looks a real star player, this guy. I mean, Alex, where do you stand on Minteh?
It's a really difficult one to put a tag on right now because I think a lot of it depends on
signings,
pre-season and signings. Yeah. So how is he going to perform? How those first 2 or 3 weeks of pre-season. If he absolutely smashes it and his attitude's on point, and because Eddie Howe demands quite a lot from people. When we get new players in the door, what he's like with bedding players in. They just do not play straight away. He has to get them. He has to get them exactly into his mentality, into the exact way the club play, exactly what is expected of you. So, and then it also depends on a right winger, because we are heavily rumoured to be bringing in, like, that is the position we're going to bring in a bigger signing in, which will impact Minteh because it's his position. So I'm really unsure about this one. I'd keep him. I think I'd keep him. But if we do bring in somebody massive, like a really big name for a right winger,
Williams, by the way, Williams heavily linked by the Athletic this morning.
Yeah. So I'm going to put
wages could be a problem. Sherlock. Yeah.
I'll lock in my answer as a keep, but obviously that would shift to loan if we bring in a big right winger. So it very much depends.
Yeah, interesting. Iropa, thank you for being a member for 8 months. Thank you for your support and being in the Toon Review family. Get Minteh back to Feyenoord. Polish that gem. Billy, where do you stand?
I'm a loan. I'd like to loan him to a higher level league than Eredivisie, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, maybe somewhere there, maybe lower level Premiership, who knows. But I'd loan him, and just to keep his education going, because the season after that, I think we have him back, and I think we may have a star in our hands.
Would you not give him pre-season, see how he does?
Yeah, I'll have a look at him pre-season. But if we are going to sign a star right winger, and we've also got Jacob Murphy, how much game time will he get here? Better off going elsewhere and getting minutes.
Yeah, if he can go somewhere and get 2,500 minutes, that'd be fantastic for his development. So
yeah,
it does depend, I guess.
Peter Garthwaite, thank you for your super chats. Hope the decision who to keep is not left to Eddie. Well, I mean,
a bit of it is at the moment because obviously we've got nobody in place.
Got no director of football, absolutely. Steve C said, lads, give the lad a chance. He needs time and another season to develop. Has to be absolute minimum. Do not sell. I don't think anybody's saying sell, to be honest, but we'll see. Listen, for me, I agree with what Stato said. I mean, Phil says, Stato, these polls are wonderful. Well, it's me that's actually putting them up, but it's fine. But do the opinions during the poll of you guys influence the result? No, absolutely not, because I tell you why. Our viewers are all switched on, all right? Our viewers know what they're talking about. They have their own opinions and will not be swayed either way. Trust me. We've had lots of battles over the years with... well, not battles, but high intensity debates, shall we say? And they are very opinionated. So no, we do not sway the votes at all. Jolene Wilkinson, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up, Jolene, and welcome to the Toon Review. You're going to break into song, aren't you?
No, I just have this post. It's fantastic.
Oh, hang on a minute. I didn't see it. Wait there. I can't find it, guys.
Put it up, Stato.
Yeah.
After you said what you said.
Yeah, well, of course, I won't get any. Dear. The day anybody praises me on this channel, honestly. Jolene says, no, block ears. Right, no, we won't do it, Jolene. Don't worry. Right, the viewers have spoken. And 73% say keep. 2%.
What was your answer, Paul?
Well, I agreed with you. So keep, but if depending who we bring in the summer, of course.
Okay. And the viewers have said keep as well.
73% say keep, 2% say sell, and 25% say loan. Billy, stop it. Get it off the screen.
Now with me, that's on.
Yeah, well, I might have known who it would have been. So there you go. That's an interesting one that the viewers say keep and not loan out. 73%.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 keeps and Billy said loan. So the overall is a keep. But again, I think all of us probably agree. I think most of it, I don't want to speak for everyone because you've all got your own opinions, but I think most people would consider the loan if we recruit well in the right wing position, maybe. So it's kind of it's a living, breathing option, this one. It depends on what happens.
Yep. Right, next player. We'll crack through these for you because we're over the hour already. It's flown by. Interesting. Miguel Almiron, guys. I think everybody knows where I'm going with it, but Alex.
Sell, unfortunately. It is a bit of a sad end because he was lovely when he came in. He was full of promise. He was an absolute speed demon when he first came to us. He's improved a lot. His tenacity and energy helped give us our kind of reputation for just absolutely strangling teams and throttling them to death with intensity and just constantly winning the ball off the goalkeeper and being an absolute nuisance. He did some fantastic stuff, but he was quite frustrating at times as well on occasion. Well, more than on occasion, but he holds value at the moment. He holds value for between 20 and 30 million, depending on a decent bidder. So at the moment, it's the same sort of idea as Callum Wilson. He's a reasonable saleable asset. He's about to turn 30. He's going to be 31 by the end of the year. No, I'm going to say sell.
Yeah, I'm saying sell as well. Surprisingly enough, I don't think anybody's really surprised at that. I think enough's enough.
Sell with a smile. I saw sell with a smile, and I love it. Sell with a smile.
Stop doing my job. You're there for the stats. I'm here to run the show. Leave it.
Smiles per sale.
That was even better.
Get lost.
That was funny.
Yeah. Right. So for me, absolute. Get rid. I'm done. Thank you for your service, Miggy, but not anymore. Billy.
I'm a definite sell, but I think the problem is getting him out the door. I don't think he wants to go.
Well,
it's like the limit on the rock.
What his agent says anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a sell for me all day long. doesn't do anything for us anymore. Unfortunately, he's running around with a smile on your face isn't enough. Yeah, time to go.
Abs definitely sell. I think I've made myself clear. Right, let's see what the viewers think. Over 400 votes for this. 86% say sell. 13% still want to keep him, though.
I don't
More than I thought, actually.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think 13%.
Sells, is it?
86 sell and 1% say loan. I mean, why would we loan Miggy? I mean, that would make no sense at all. Very strange one. Right, next on the line is Captain Trippier. Now, Trippier obviously had, I wouldn't say a perfect season last season. Of course, he suffered with injuries and cost us in more than one game with some terrible mistakes. I'm not sure. Billy?
I'm a sell, I'm afraid.
Really?
I'm a sell. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's happy. I think he wants to move. He's slightly over the top now without any shadow of a doubt. Cost us a bit last season. Murmuring that he's not happy. So get decent money for him as well. Maybe get more than what we bought him for. So it's a sell for me.
How much do you reckon we could get Trippier for, Billy, realistically?
I think we can sell him for 15 million.
15? Interesting. I mean, I don't know. His body language is interesting at the minute. You know, the last couple of times we've seen him. Alex, where do you stand?
I'm the opposite to Billy. I disagree. I think the saleable assets are more so players like Miggy and Callum Wilson. We've just spent ages having cheerleaders on the books like Matt Ritchie and Paul Dummett. So I'm afraid I'm happy to have a competent cheerleader in Kieran Trippier, who is a captain, a wicked dead ball specialist, 10 assists last season. Yes, he can make mistakes and his body is possibly beginning to decline. But I would keep him. Just why not? We seem to keep cheerleaders in the squad and we need a leadership group and people who are competent. At least he can play minutes and be useful. He might be able to play 20, 25 matches for us and be competent next year. As long as he doesn't have to play all the time, it will help nurture all the youngsters as well. He's a fantastic leader. I'd keep him.
Never been the same since after he left the England camp. I have to say, I kind of agree with that. I don't think Kieran Trippier has ever been the same since he left that England camp during the season. Now, obviously, we don't know what's gone on. There's lots of speculation, but we don't. It's a load of bollocks. You know, I just think maybe his legs are on the other side now, and he's going down that slope. However, I actually would keep him. I think he'd be good to have in the squad still, at least for another year. You know. A lot of people saying we can get money for him. Probably yes, but at the same time, if he's the thing is, where's his head at? Does he actually want to go or not?
He's not going to stay. He's not going to stay as a backup to Tino either. He's
well,
that's a or not at all. So I think we've got to sell him.
I mean, there is rumours that
I think he's angry Tino development. I think Tino needs to start next season.
Yeah, there is rumours hitting around that Bayern still want him. So.
I mean, I wouldn't actively try and sell him, but if somebody drops a decent bid in, I think the club will definitely consider it.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's have a look at the viewers.
What did you choose? Did you choose keep or sell?
Keep for another
season. You chose
keep.
Okay.
Yeah. The viewers have gone with 58% sell. 42% say keep, and nobody wants to loan him out. So.
That's two keeps and two sells. We are split down the middle, guys, for the first time tonight on Kieran Trippier.
Wow.
So Sam would be the deciding vote, but she's not here. So
no, interesting that. Very interesting. Okay, next on the list is Joseph Willock. Now, obviously, ravaged by injuries last season. We really didn't get to see anything of Joe Willock last year. And the times we did, he just didn't look at it. Let's be honest. We were hoping for big things. The only real time we saw him was at Old Trafford in the Carabao. But apart from that, disappointing. But this is going to be an interesting one. Where do you stand on Joe Willock, Alex?
Part of me wants to sell him, but part of me just thinks, you know what? He's got such a high ceiling. Let's keep him. Because he's still 24 years old, and we've seen what he's like when he's on form and he's fit. He's fantastic. That run in at obviously not the back end of this season. It was the one before that run in where we just annihilated teams. He was unplayable, and he's still, like I said, 24 years old. So I don't think we'd make much money on him because what did we pay for him? 25 or 30 around that.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'd get a lot more than that because he's not playing at the moment. So shop window's not really there. Probably going to have to keep him. I'd like to keep him because I think there's a really good player in there. If we can keep him fit and keep him happy, I think he could be useful.
Now, I remember when obviously Willock signed, and some of the Arsenal fans that are friends of this channel did say that sometimes he disappears for long periods of the season, but they didn't know if that was down to his age or anything like that. And it seems to me like he does. He's got bags and bags of talent, no doubt about that. But I don't think we see the talent enough. And I know he's had injury problems last season. He was immense, like you said, Alex. But I just have a worry that it's not happening. I've heard rumblings about Joe Willock, but the problem I've got is these injuries he's picked up, and you just can't shake them. I'm going to say sell, guys. I think we can get a decent amount of money for him, and I think it might be worth selling. Billy?
I just don't think we'll get a decent amount of money with him. This
really?
is the point for me.
Okay.
Not with a season like he just had. Who's going to be in the market for a midfielder who has a dodgy Achilles and can't really run? We've got to keep him ourselves, develop him, and if he has a good season this season, obviously we could sell him then. I'm a keep. I'm a keep and hope he can reach higher to that ceiling that Alex talks about, and then we can choose whether we want to sell him or keep him after that. Because if he does get that ceiling, he's a star. There's no doubt about it.
Mark Toon 1892, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up and being supportive of the channel. Much appreciated. Welcome to the family. Right, the viewers have gone 69% keep, 30% sell, and 1% for loaning him out. So
what was everybody's choice for Willock? It was yours and Billy's was.
I was keep.
Mine's sell.
And then the viewers was
keep 69%.
Keep. It is a keep then.
Yeah,
Joe Willock is a keep.
Interesting. I didn't see that coming. I honestly, I thought a lot more people would have gone for sell, but hey, this is what we do it for. Right. The final photo we have of the players is, of course, little Lewis Miley. Bless his little cheeky, couldn't you, pretty boo? Now, of course, came in last season, played a lot more than I think Eddie Howe had originally said for Lewis Miley. But wasn't he just fantastic? For a 17-year-old kid, his maturity on the ball, everything about him is just fantastic. I love Lewis Miley. I think he's got a big, big future, and I'm saying keep, 100% keep. Billy Bob.
Yeah, there's no point for me in loading him because we know what we can do. If it's just to get minutes on the pitch, maybe a loan. Certainly not a sell. I think it's a keep. Although he might not get many minutes for next season. He might get many minutes for next season.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, because you've got Tonali coming back. You've got to. That's where we are.
I'm going loan.
Billy, you locked in your final answer. You can't do that.
I've just changed it. Loan. So he gets minutes.
All right, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus.
Who are you?
Anne Robinson. You've locked in your answer. You are the weakest link.
Mrs. Robinson. That's the next line. That's the next. Never mind. You didn't even know you did that, Alex, but well done. Well done. You started the next line there without even thinking about it. So congratulations. Absolutely. Okay, Alex, Lewis Miley.
Bruno, Joe Linton, Tonali.
It is a weird one, this one, but
Anderson,
Willock.
That's 6. Is that 6? That's 6. So I would imagine in Eddie's mind, he's the 7th choice, I would guess. I think a few people would probably put him in front of like Longstaff and stuff, and that's fine. I think Eddie's going to put him as the 7th choice. So I think it's got to be a loan. It's just got to be. I mean, I think loads of teams would absolutely snap at the chance to take him on loan.
Yeah,
He'd be fantastic
absolutely,
for
they would.
a lower league side. It's got to be a loan.
Okay, let's go to the viewers' vote. And 83% say keep. 1% say sell. And 17% say loan. So 83% keep.
He's not going to play, guys. We've got 7 total midfielders.
Well, listen.
Him playing 500 minutes is really going to hinder his development.
Alex, you can't argue with the viewers. They have spoken. I do have one more that I think slipped the net, guys. Elliot Anderson. So Elliot Anderson, he came in, I think did really well last season. He's obviously bulked himself up. There's no doubt about that. Looks a very, very strong player. Had the difficulty of playing as left wing back at one stage last season, of course, as we remember. But I think did an excellent job. Billy, where do you stand with Elliot Anderson?
Very similar to Miley, actually, but I think this one's a keep because of his versatility. He can play left-hand side as well as kind of the same as Joe Litton and Willock, really. 3 players do the same job, can't they?
Yeah.
Is a keep for me.
Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. Homegrown, trained at club. He can play midfield, left wing, do the same kind of things that Joe Linton and Willock can do positionally to a point, similar role. Will play wherever he's told to. Played as a left wing back for a game. Fine, it's not where he's always going to play, but yeah, super important. Unless somebody throws silly money at us, which they're probably not going to do, absolutely keep him.
Yeah, I'm the opinion. I think he deserves to stay, be part of the squad next season. He'd be a very, very good squad player to have around because he's got the quality there, in my opinion. So yeah, 100% keep. The viewers have spoken. The viewers say 85% keep.
To be fair, Tristan does make a good point. He does need to start putting the ball in the back of the net a bit more next season. I would agree with that, to be fair. He's got to definitely up his contribution rate to the team in goals and assists. I think that's a fair point.
Well, I think he'll progress with his age anyway. He's got the talent. He's obviously got the tools in the box to do it.
Yeah. Keep is 86%, 7% say sell, and 8% say loan. Interesting.
Still only 21, remember. So,
honourable mentions, Alex.
So we've got 4 to do, so we can quick fire them if you want. I don't know if you want to do a poll for all of these or
no. We'll just quick fire these ones.
So we've got Jamal Lewis,
sell
as well.
Yeah.
We've also got Harrison Ashby,
loan, sell.
Oh, the tricky one. Who have we got at right back? Trippier, Krafth, Livramento. Loan him back to the Championship again. I'm going to say loan.
Place for him. Okay, well, interesting.
I agree. It's a lot of people say sell. I get what you mean, but
yeah,
we need to make some money on him. So maybe loan him and hope he develops a bit, and then either use him or sell him. So I'm going to say loan.
Well, remember he played in that 8-0 thrashing in Australia and didn't look at all decent.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Well, none of them did, to be fair. Let's be honest. But who's next?
Isaac Hayden.
Sell. He's got no.
Sell.
He's done with Newcastle now. No matter what we think of him, he's got to go.
And the last one is Ryan Fraser.
Sell. Billy, you can't say that.
Well, this might actually surprise you, but I would sell him.
Well, there you go. What a surprise. Alex would sell Ryan Fraser. I mean, Billy, we could send him to Germany or somewhere like that, but who knows? But I think Southampton is his destination. They have stated they want to sell him. Mark says Hendrick, he's gone. Jeff Hendrick's gone, Mark. There's pointless doing that. He's not even at the club anymore. But guys, over 1,300 watching. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for joining in the show tonight. It has been an excellent show. You have spoken in your hundreds and thousands as usual. Thank you very much for taking part. Thank you for the super chatters and new members. Mods, fantastic again. Billy and Alex, thank you so much. But thank you to all you guys out there for making this show. It has been tremendous. We have a night off tomorrow night, but there will be a new show tomorrow. We are going to bring the new show back live again in the morning. I've had a lot of requests for a new show, sort of late morning, lunchtime-ish. So we're going to bring them back as well. So we will do a live show during the day. But thank you to everybody. There will be a new show tomorrow, as I say, and then we're back on Friday for the England Matchday Live as well, as we build up to the European Championships. But thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening, folks. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check on some breathing. So much trouble, make my day.